Reverend Susanna and her relationship to her father reminds me in many ways of my relationship to my father, Mario Cuomo, who was the great governor of New York. And growing up with him, his lesson was so powerful, was so impactful, that it actually guided my life to public service. And I think in many ways, that was also Reverend Susanna's journey, following her father's journey, because of the powerful impact. Let's give her another round of applause. Feliz Dia de la Madre. A special guest that I have here today, I have my mother. She is the former First Lady of the state. She's here with my sister Maria, my brother-in-law Kenny Cole. My mother was, we are soon going to be celebrating her 33rd, 60th birthday. And I want to say to my mother on this Mother's Day, not just thank you for coming here today. I want to thank her for a lifetime of being devoted to her family. She was devoted. We lost my father, but my father was in public service for 20 years. And you know, when you're in politics, I've chosen to be in politics. You deal with a lot when you're in politics. You know, it can be ugly out there in politics, especially today. But that's a choice I made. It's a choice my father made. But what you don't appreciate sometimes is the burden on the family when you're in politics, and the time away from family, and that when people are mean to you or abusive to you, your family feels it also. And my mother went through that for 20 years with my father, and for 23 years with me, she has dealt with that. And she has always been a place of comfort for me, and a strength for me, and there's nothing like the love of a mother to give you comfort and strength. So I want to thank you for that. In Italian, there's an expression that the two things in life that will never leave you are the eyes of God and the love of a mother. And that is so true. And I learned it from my mother. I want to say thank you to Assemblywoman Yvelda Capilla, who's with us today. I'm a little tired today because she kept me out too late last night at Mother's Day party. And we had, it was a lot of fun. I was endorsed by Congressman Adriano Espaillat and Assemblyman George Alvarez, so I want to thank them very much for that. But I want to thank all of you again for the gratitude for allowing me to be here today. And it's Mother's Day today. We celebrate mothers today, and we bring flowers. I have flowers, Mom. That's nice flowers. And we're going to go for lunch together. But really, we celebrate mothers every day. And we have to express that respect and that love and that gratitude every day. And we have to show it every day. And we work very hard to do that. We respect the traditions that you passed on to us. We respect the heritage, the legacy, the love of family, the love of our legacy. And we do that in our family, and we do that for the community at large. I have tremendous respect for the Latino legacy, the legacy of the people of Puerto Rico, which have made such a great difference in New York, the people from the Dominican Republic, who have made such a difference for New York. When Puerto Rico has struggled, when the Dominican Dominican Republic has trouble, we brought all New Yorkers to help the Dominican Republic after they dealt with earthquakes and storms. Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, we brought hundreds of New Yorkers to Puerto Rico to help them restore power after Puerto Rico. So that respect is important. Our obligation to make sure you have affordable housing, which is harder and harder today. Our obligation to make sure that you have the health care that you deserve and that you need. And our obligation to make sure that you are protected and that you are safe. And that is especially true here in the Bronx. Every day we read about another crime that is happening in the Bronx. This past week, a 23-year-old woman was robbed and assaulted in Bronx in the Bronx. Today in the newspaper there's a story about the park at St. Mary's and how much drug use is going on and how many people are getting into trouble at the park. And that is a story that we read about too much, especially in the Bronx. And in truth, the Bronx has not been given the respect and the care and the attention that it deserves from the city of New York. In truth, the Bronx has the highest crime rate in the city of New York. The Bronx has a higher crime rate than any of the other boroughs, has a higher poverty rate than any of the other boroughs, has a lower median income than any of the other boroughs. And that is just not fair, and that is just not right. The Bronx has not gotten the attention that it deserves. And shame on the New York City government, because you know, some things you can't do for yourself. You can't keep yourself safe in this city. You can't get yourself affordable housing. And that's why we have government. That's what government is all about. That's why we elect people. But we elect people and we put people in government to actually make change and actually produce results. And somewhere along the way we lost that. We have a lot of politicians. And you know what they do? My grandfather used to do this. You know what this means? All talk. All talk. They just talk. And politicians are very good at talking. But you know what? Politics and government is not about talking. It's about action. It's about making a difference in people's lives. It's not about words. It's about deeds. It's about real results for real people that change their lives. And that's not happening in New York City. And that has to happen in New York City. I wasn't planning on running for mayor. I had served 8 years in the Bill Clinton administration. I was a housing secretary. Then I was the attorney general. Then I was the governor for 11 years. So I was going to take a break. I thought I deserved a break, you know? I'd done my tour of duty and I had my share of shrapnel. So I was going to take it easy. I was in the private sector. I did something called taking a vacation, which I had not done in many, many years. But I was watching New York City, and I'm worried about New York City. I'm worried about the direction of New York City. We had 500,000 people leave New York City since COVID. 500,000. And we have rich people leave, but we have middle-class people, working families leaving because they just can't afford to live in New York City. Or it's too unsafe to be in New York City. And that has to change, and that's why I'm running for mayor. And I think we look. If you look at what I spent time doing in government, look at what I did as governor. Everything I did was about actually getting things done for people, making a difference in people's lives. We passed laws that changed lives. We raised the minimum wage. It was $9. We raised it to $15. They're putting more money in your pocket. one of the highways that had the highest numbers of accidents, and now we made it safe. What we did in Hunts Point, that had a high asthma rate, and we got their trucks off the road. It's about making a difference. And we have to make a difference in New York City, and we have to make a difference fast in New York City. We have to make it safe again. And we're going to make it safe by hiring more police who are responsive to the community and respectful to the community and work with the community. We're going to build more affordable housing, increase the supply of affordable housing, and you will bring the price down. It's about getting it done. Getting it done. This is no rocket science here. We know what to do. It's about the confidence to actually make it happen. And it's especially important today because we have another challenge on top of everything else. We elected a new president. I forget his name. But we elected a new president, and he is not a friend to New York. He is not a friend to working families. He put forth a budget. You know what the budget does? It cuts housing for senior citizens.
Yes.
It cuts funding for public housing for NYCHA.
Yes.
It cuts Medicaid, which is health care for poor people. It cuts all the funding that is essential to make this city work. That's what this president did.
Yes.
Now, we've dealt with this president before. I was governor, he was president, and we were dealing with COVID. And COVID, New York had COVID worse than any place on the globe. Highest infection rate on the globe. And we were alone. And he was the president. And we had to get basic help. We had to get masks. We had to get vaccines. We had to get testing equipment. And we had to fight him every step of the way. But you know what? New Yorkers know how to deal with a bully.
Yeah.
We know how to deal with a bully. And the president thinks he's tough. I'll tell you what, real New Yorkers are tougher. And we're going to deal with the president, and we are going to protect New York, and we are going to protect you. And you have my word on that if I'm fortunate enough to be mayor. Last point. COVID, I never will. COVID taught me something else. When things were at their worst, and we had no idea what was going to happen, we literally didn't know if we were going to live or die. And nobody could tell us what to do. Nobody knew the right thing. Nobody knew what the virus was going to do. All different opinions. One doctor says this, another doctor says this. One doctor says you can get it by touch, another doctor says you can't get it by touch. We had no idea. None of the experts had any idea. And we were on our own. But you know what we did? We came together as New Yorkers. We unified. We helped one another. We were there for one another. We cooperated with one another. It didn't matter if you were black or white or Latino or rich or poor. We were there together. And that unity was a great strength. That unity was the most important strength. And I learned from you that when we come together, there is nothing that we can't do. So we think we have problems in this city. We think we have a crime problem. We think we have an affordable housing problem. We have an affordability issue. We have a president who isn't going to help. Yes, we do. But you know what? We can deal with every one of those problems if we remember what we did during COVID.